We just start
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah. Running behind today.
It's all good.
But we're here. We're
We
happy to
are
be here.
here. We're here, man. How you been? How you been? How's the week?
You know, it was a week. Yeah, one of those. One of those.
Does
One
it
of
have
those.
anything to do with you being a dad's girl like this week?
It has everything to do with me being a girl dad. Absolutely. Yes. Everything.
My microphone's being all a little weird right now, but it's all good. Um, yeah,
We reached
man.
the, we reached the we reached a milestone this week, and my daughter made her first turkey sandwich. Big deal.
Congratulations.
Big deal.
Oh, so soon enough is what you're saying is you're gonna have your daughters making you food. Make daddy a
Uh,
sandwich is what I'm starting to
you
hear.
gotta start somewhere, man. We're already baking. So next is the sandwich. I mean, if I can get her to run in there and make daddy a sandwich while I'm watching the football game, then hey, I'm winning. I'm winning.
What's so funny? It's so funny that you say that because growing up, like my dad, he would make us peel art, like we'll make my parents peel art, well, make the kids like peel an orange for him, like when he's coming back, like right before he comes back from work. And I always pretended that I sucked at it. So he wouldn't ask me to do it. Like I would purposely butcher it.
Oh my God.
My sister, my brother, sister, they'll I mean, these are opportunity to one up me. It's like, oh, I could peel an orange better than you. And it's like, yeah, you peel the orange. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I did little things like that to kind of get out of chores.
I feel like that would have worked for my dad for a little while before he caught on. I was like, all right, well, now you're going to learn how to peel
Yeah,
an orange properly.
yeah, absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
do it again.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. My dad, he just wanted the orange, right? Like he didn't like care on the how, which is actually to his detriment too. I did all sorts of like dumb little things too to kind of get out of stuff. um,
Yeah. I mean, we all did that. We all did that
yeah,
for sure. For sure. I
absolutely.
mean, you have the old, like, especially with doing schoolwork, right? Just like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
When you have to do that project and then your parents like end up just doing it for you.
yeah,
That's everybody's
oh,
favorite.
absolutely, absolutely.
I'm
Another
sure I'll
thing,
see that in a minute.
another thing too is my dad. He loved to use like drive our cars, right? Well, like growing up, so I bought like a cheap little starter car for college and whatnot, right? And my parents like my mom will have like her van, and my dad didn't really have a car. He had like the company car, right? Like for like the city that he worked
Nice.
for.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, not really, but like you can't really drive it using a
He
personal
said not
use.
really.
It's the city of Baton Rouge, right? Like a nice
I
car.
mean,
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
it's a
regardless.
free
But
car.
he
It's a free car. I mean, if I don't
fair
have to
enough.
buy a car, I'm not going to, right?
Yeah, but he can't use it for like personal travel. So he used our cars. And what I would do is I would purposely like not put gas in my car just so he can put gas in it. Um,
You're terrible, man.
I was a
You're
broke
terrible.
college kid.
I mean, me too, but still, like,
So,
just ask.
yeah, that didn't work with
Oh
my
man.
parents. All
Mm-mm-mm.
right. Well, we're getting started, and my computer's being a little weird right now because like resource issues. I'm gonna try to close some things, give
Yeah,
myself a little more space.
your video is not looking that smooth right now. I'll tell you
Yeah, what can you do?
that. I mean,
We're
you making all
here.
that money, man. Go get you a new computer.
I might have to, man. You might have to expense it. So tax deductible job or something.
I feel like you could ask
Um,
the viewers. You've been talking about your computer for the past few weeks, and haven't seen anything change.
I'm still kind of cheap, so it's all good.
And he's out.
Oh, am I out? Shit.
Yeah, now you are. Now you're back. Now you're back.
Okay.
Dude, I hope it gets better, man, because we got a lot to talk about tonight. a lot to talk about tonight. And I know that the Will Smith thing has been done repeatedly for the past week, but guess what? It hasn't been done here.
Exactly. You stole my line. I was going to be like, yeah, I'm sure you guys have listened to the Will Smith and are probably tired of it for like heard all the angles per week, but you know, fuck it, you can hear it again. About to hear it again.
You have to, man.
Yeah, I was thinking about a joke about it too. I was like unless you've been living under a rock or unless you've been concussed because someone hit you in the head too hard, you've been out for the week. Will Smith smacked the shit out of. So yeah, it was so funny because we're talking on this show last week about the Oscars going on. Totally not gonna watch it.
And how we're not watching, like, who cares about the Oscars? Yeah. Right.
And then literally like a couple minutes like after like we like ended the show, right? And like we hung up, I get like a news alert, like, you know, Will Smith slaps Chris Rock, and I text you immediately, like, did you see this shit? And then like later that night, I don't even think I went to bed till like maybe 1 or 2, just looking at, you know, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, saw the unedited version, and then all the memes, like within like
so many memes.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
I feel like this may overtake the crying Jordan face for a while. Like this is huge right here. Like this is, I mean, the memes are good. I mean, I even went on Monday, it was like coming into Monday, like, psh, you know what I mean? Like, the Monday slaps you in the face or whatever. So
yeah. Well,
so
us being DC fans, we have something that replaces the Batman slapping Robin.
That's right.
Right. Gosh. So yeah, it was funny. It was real funny. And yeah, I mean, let's get into it. So yeah, you know.
So first off, because there's a lot of angles to cover here, right?
Yeah.
So first off, let's just talk about what actually happened. Okay. Chris Rock is on stage. He's, you know, hosting, doing his comedian thing, telling a couple of jokes, basically going through the crowd, pointing at people, talking at people.
Yeah.
You know.
What he's done before.
Which every comedian has done before.
Yeah.
He comes to Jada Pinkett Smith and, you know, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait for it.
Yep.
And then all hell breaks loose. Right?
Yeah. Well, what happens is like Will Smith, you see Will Smith laughing for a little bit, right?
He was laughing.
Yeah, he kind of made that little joke, like then he turns to Jada, who kind of like, you know,
she rolled her eyes.
Yeah.
And then he's still talking, and then you see him, and then you see Will Smith walk up. And Chris Rock is like, oh, you know, you know what I mean? Like thinking like
puts his hands behind his back. Yeah.
Puts his hands behind his back. And I feel like that made some people question whether or not it was staged, because, you know, why would you put your hands behind your back, right?
Yeah.
But I think that gives some credibility to the fact that he didn't know, right? Because he, you know, put your hands behind your back. It's like, you know, it's kind of like what are you going to do?
Yeah. What is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the clean rapper, you know, is going to do about it?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he did something. He slapped the hell out of that guy. And then, I mean, he walked up so smooth. So I'll give it to Will. The boy got a smooth walk on him. Man.
He walked back too. It was kind of like, you know, holding his jacket, like kind of
swagged out, just with all the swag in the world. Slapped that man, and then turn around and walk back very calmly.
Yes.
And then he's yelling from the crowd, you know, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Chris Rock, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he was very classy with the way he handled it. I mean, because I guess he was probably so shocked, right? Because he was just like, wow, I just got slapped. You know what I mean? It was one of those type of reactions or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, you have Will out there in the crowd, like yelling and all this, doing all this stuff or whatever.
Well, the crowd was shocked. Crowd was shocked.
Everybody shocked. You saw Lupita Nyong'o, right?
Lupita Nyong'o, she was like.
I feel like I would have reacted the same way if I was there. It's like, oh shit, is this for real? Is this for real? Right? Like, what do? You know, when you see something like that go down, you know what I mean? And then you had like Tyler Perry and Denzel come to Will and try to calm him down and all this other nonsense or whatever. So after that, this is where I kind of got bothered.
Mm-hmm. Well, what happened afterwards? He won the Oscar. He won the Oscar like a couple minutes later, like maybe 30 minutes later. He won the Oscar for Best Man for playing King Richard, in King Richard, the Serena Williams,
which was a phenomenal movie. I watched it. I thought it was a good movie.
I have not watched it,
and I thought he did a great job. I actually thought he deserved it. Actually, I thought he deserved the Oscar for Best Actor for sure. I mean, I'm probably a little biased because I didn't watch like all the movies that were nominated for it. But
nobody does.
That was a good movie. I know.
Nobody.
The average person has not seen half the movies nominated for Best Picture. I feel like.
Well, not even the critics do, right? I told you last week, right? For like 12 Years a Slave, like one of the guys voted for it, didn't even watch the movie, but he voted for it because he was like, because of the narrative he was supposed to, or he felt that he was supposed to, which is kind of disrespectful to the movie itself. But like,
yeah,
that's kind of part. Oscars has been like going down in ratings for years too. So
yeah,
this will probably help him out.
I mean, yes and no, right? So, but so okay. So this is where I got upset though. This is where things started to bother me, right? So, and again, I'm kind of watching and reading things after the fact. So Will Smith slaps Chris Rock, goes back, sits down. 20, 30 minutes later, he wins for Best Actor, goes back up on stage, and people are giving this dude a standing ovation, right? And then he goes up there and he's like, I want to apologize to my colleagues in the Academy. Like, bro, what about the person you just slapped?
He didn't apologize to him until later, right?
Right. You know what I'm saying? And we'll get, well, I mean, in that, when I read it, I was like, that sounds like, maybe your lawyer wrote that shit. I don't even feel like you really wrote that, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, why is everybody consoling Will and giving him a standing ovation or whatever? It's like, bro, like you just did something. You just committed like a horrible act.
Yeah.
And you're trying to sit there and act like you're the victim or whatever, right?
I don't think he acted like he's the victim. So to answer one of your questions, why is everyone like giving him a standing ovation? Well, they always do that for like the big awards. So like the Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Motion like Picture or Best Picture, whatever, or the Best Director or whatever. Those end up and kind of applauds. I'm going to switch microphones because it keeps saying that my microphone's like going off, and I'm kind of tired of looking at them.
Yep, you cut out for like 5 seconds. Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I hear you now.
So it's the same quality, or better, or worse, or?
It's a little bit worse, but it's still, you're good now. At least you'll be consistent.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm using my Brio microphone instead of like my super expensive $100 microphone, which is going in and out.
iPad Pro 2020.
Anyway, might be time. I don't blame the microphone. It's probably just the computer.
Yeah, you probably.
But anyway, moving on, right? So that's the reason why they applauded, right?
Right.
Like Denzel and Tyler Perry, like Denzel went off to say that, like, the devil got a hold of him and whatnot. Something to point out too was that Jada.
Well, he said, hold on. He said, when things are going good, that's when the devil will come. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which, those are good words, right? I mean, because he's having this amazing moment, and he got tested in that moment. Of course, in my opinion, he failed horribly, right?
Of
but he
course.
got tested in his moment or whatever, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but also they showed Jada Pinkett's Smith's reaction, and she laughed, right?
She laughed when he slapped.
Yeah, she laughed when he slapped her, right? So, I will say this though, right? And like, look, obviously we don't condone what Will Smith has done. Like, in hindsight too, because at the time, like and at the time I was like, well, maybe that was too harsh of a joke. But again, not again, like the joke was, it's not like she was like losing her hair because of cancer, right? Or something more like strenuous, right? So, and not to mention, like I saw a meme, like someone make a joke about this. Like he did compare her to another strong woman, right?
Yeah.
In GI Jane, I actually had to look up the like who GI Jane was to get the joke.
You never saw GI Jane, bro?
I did not see GI Jane. So, but he did.
I mean, when he said it, so to me, it was like it wasn't. I didn't laugh at the joke, right? Like
Yeah.
I was like,
that's not funny.
I was like, bro, that's you're reaching. You know what I mean? Not funny.
Yeah.
Not funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's clearly like you don't condone like what Will Smith, and it's definitely not worth you going up on stage and slapping somebody. And even if it was offensive, like, you know, physical violence trumps mental like verbal violence every day.
Dude, I mean, they got, what do you tell your kids? Sticks and stones, right?
Yeah,
I mean, exactly. You tell the kids that all the time, but now you can't live by the same type of thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's a great analogy right there. You know.
You know, my friend put something on Facebook. He was basically like, you know, it's like male pattern baldness. I mean, I started losing my hair at 18. I've been bald all my life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but then so after all that happens, right? So you have people out here talking about, you know, come out here, you know, that's good that he protected his black queen, he protected his black woman.
Some people said that, yeah.
Finally, somebody out here protecting their black woman. And that bothered me too, man. Because first off, dog, you're 53 years old. Okay? You're Will Smith. You have all the pull in the world in Hollywood. Like on some real shit, like if you were really being like vindictive about things, you're really trying to hit that man where it hurts. You know, hey, Chris Rock doesn't work here anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do some shit like that. You're Will Smith. You're the man.
I don't think he has that kind of pull, but he does have some.
But I'm saying he can do something.
Yeah.
Option 2. It's the Oscars. You know where Chris is gonna be. Go backstage and fuck him up. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. That's you know what I'm saying? You could very easily go backstage if you wanted to get violent and fuck that man up. Or if you wanted to really man up, you know, you go back there and have a conversation like, hey, like you insulted my lady. I'm gonna need you to go apologize to her because this is not, you know, it's not a game or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's what really pissed me off is people talking about, yeah, he protected his black woman or whatever, you know, and I see things from his side. I was like, that's bullshit, man. You know what I mean? And that kind of speaks to how distorted our view of masculinity has become, I feel like, right? So to be the man in that situation, I'm supposed to go fight somebody like immediately, or I'm not man enough, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a man. My wife looks at me with the side eye like that, like, what you gonna do? And the only thing, and my only act that I can take is to fight, is to be violent, right? Yeah. You have that. Then you have, of course, there's a black person, right? So now we have our time to shine. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a black man winning the best actor.
Not many. Not many do that. Not many black men.
Not at all. You had I forget the dude's name. Yeah, I forget the dude's name. He I think he produced or directed the Oscars that night or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it was really like a night for us. You even had Questlove, my guy from the Roots, won a award for like best documentary. Got overshadowed.
Which I want to watch. I don't think I've watched any of like anything that was nominated.
Yeah. But it's just sad, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have all these things that people really need to take a closer look at in this situation. It kind of, I feel like it kind of made things kind of bubble up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
a
I
good chance for us to talk
ignored
about it.
everything. That was the talking of the night, right? Everyone's talking about it, but that's all they're talking about, right? You don't see the Questlove, you don't see
Samuel
so
L. Jackson won an
yeah.
award finally, right?
So
Man's
who?
been in Samuel L. Jackson
Oh yes.
won an award.
Wow.
He's been in more movies than like anybody.
He's long overdue for like a
And
best actor or best supporting actor award. I
or
don't know.
some recognition of or something.
Yeah, like he
Right?
should have been won an award. Like
Overshadow, like
I thought that he should have won an award for his play in, and this is why like the Oscars are bullshit because of the politics behind it, right?
yeah.
For Django Unchained, like both him and Leonardo DiCaprio killed it. Now the reason why they didn't, right, get nominated at all was because you don't have a lot of black, like representation there to begin with. So why would you nominate like you don't have black representation? So here you have these two guys that did phenomenal in that movie, right?
Yes.
You can't nominate them because of like pretty much your past, right? Of you not nominating like black artists when they're supposed to be nominated, or they're not winning when they're supposed to have won, right? Like Denzel won for an award, won his best Oscar award for like a role that's not nearly his best, right?
No,
not nearly.
I mean, his best was Malcolm X, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying?
But there's so many other awards, like Fences, he was really good in, right?
He was.
So, and I remember seeing that one. So, yeah. So it's unfortunate for that. Yeah, you just brought up a really good angle, about that, and I'm really happy that you brought that up. My angle too, because I remember kind of arguing with like our boy Hussub, right, a little bit, and we just kind of a misunderstanding of like standing of like how Will Smith is viewed. Will Smith is like the good guy, right? We kind of make fun of him for kind of being like not a gangster rapper, or kind of, or like with Jada, when Jada essentially like slept with her son's friend, right? And that guy, we made fun of him for that too, right?
I never looked down. So this is the thing. I never looked down. I don't know if a lot of people really look down on Will because he didn't cuss in his raps. I think he was just. You think so?
I think they did. Like, you saw that. Like, so I mean, I brought this up. Like Eminem, Will Smith doesn't write a cuss in his rap to sell records. Well, I do. So F him and F you too, right? We saw that, right? I shared the thing with Family Guy where they were kind of making fun of him from like doing like clean rap or whatever, right? And there's always like, and everyone knows like the relationship between Jada Pinkett and Tupac, right? Like the gangster.
You had the meme. Tupac right? When it done. Tupac when it did. You know what I'm saying? Tupac when it did this.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. What would Tupac do?
I felt that all of that finally kind of just popped a nerve, right? It was like
absolutely.
Like I think that us kind of making fun of him, definitely the Jada Pinkett,
the entanglement.
I forgot like the August.
So that's the thing.
August,
I mean, yeah.
Right. So I thought all of that kind of like maybe like Will Smith maybe saw himself as a doormat a little bit, and kind of reacted based off of that. And to your point, like what is masculinity? What's the expectation of masculinity, right? So I will say this, as much as like I don't condone what he's doing, what he's done, and that even though he's apologized, he deserves to get punished, right? He says like he'll accept whatever punishment that like the Academy gives. He already resigned from the Academy, right?
He did.
But at the same time, like let's also forget like his history, right? Because he's been a stand-up guy for a long time, right? So let's also kind of consider that as we judge this guy, right? As we
considering that shit, absolutely not. What? I look at what I don't care. I know.
Yeah,
I don't care. I don't care
I
about that.
disagree. I disagree with that. But
I don't care about that. What I will say is
so
that
one mistake defined you. He made one.
I'm not
mistake.
saying I'm not saying one I'm not saying one mistake defines you forever, right?
Yeah,
I think he deserves to be punished for what happened.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But I also think that him being a doormat and being the butt of so many jokes,
Yeah.
I think is also partially his fault, right? Because
Okay.
well, think about this. Your wife has an affair. You go on her talk show and talk about it. And she tells you, like, with a super straight face, yes, I had an entanglement with Alcina.
it was an
I'm
entanglement.
sorry, with August.
Yeah.
And you're emotional. I mean, you're devastated. You're sitting there crying on camera while your wife tells you with zero emotion. Yeah, I had an entanglement. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
there's a history of little things about that group coming out little by little. Like, you have the entanglement, you have the rumors about, like, it's this, they have an open relationship, maybe they, this stuff
they
about
have an open relationship. He specifically said that Jada believes and always believed in like an open relationship, right? The thing with August, the entanglement, that came out when August, wherever this guy is, like the singer, came out to say, like, yeah, I had an affair with Jada Pinkett Smith with Will Smith's approval, right? So he did kind of point that out. And then that's when the Red Table Talk came out, talking about the entanglement. So there's kind of a lot like there.
I'm just saying, public perception, like the average person is like, bro, you how do you think that looks to the public when you're on your wife's talk show, she's talking about having an affair, really acting like she doesn't give two shits, and you're sitting there crying, like, looks horrible. It makes you look horrible.
He wasn't
crying,
I mean? But he definitely was red-eyed for sure.
No, they got a meme of that. Is
it the
crying
Jordan
face,
or is it the Michael Jordan crying me?
No, it's him. It's the crying Jordan face equivalent of Will Smith. That's what I'm saying. I think he's been the butt of, like you said, he's been the butt of these jokes for so long, and been embarrassed for so long. And then you have little things trickling out about them after all this time and been talking about for so long. For whatever reason, that night, your boy just snapped.
Yeah,
it's just like, I can't take it anymore. You know what I mean? Goes and slaps Chris Rock. Of course, you have the other side. Chris Rock's comedy special then promptly sells out, right? But everybody's waiting because and that's the crazy part too, because he's a comedian, like, and this is another angle about to get into too. So he's a comedian. He could very easily have eviscerated Will Smith that night. He could have doubled down on the jokes and just gone in on this dude, right? I listened to other comedians talk about what they would have said, like Ari Spears and some of these other people, what they would have said or done had he come up there and did that to them. You know what I mean? It's like, so, his tour sells out. So now everybody's like kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with them. Like, and like, for me, I'm just like, I think people should be more consoling him than Will, honestly. Like, I didn't get that part.
I don't know. It has been weird. I guess it depends on like the media that you're listening to, or kind of like, it's so funny because in general, in our society, there's so much information out there. It's so easy to get caught in your certain pockets. I haven't really been seeing a lot of people console Will that much. I mean, I saw Tiffany Haddish do console. I mean, kind of say, oh, it's nice to see a man like, protect this woman. And of course, you saw Denzel Washington. You saw
Tyler Perry. What's his name? Brad. Dude from The Hangover. What's his name?
Bradley Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, there you go, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, no, but there are also other people, like especially on the comedic side, right, defending Chris Rock and be like, well, fuck that shit, right? You know, like even Martin Lawrence was said this. One of the many memes that's came out during this too. God, the internet never sleeps.
Of course not. The internet has no chill.
Yeah, no chill. Like they actually dug up a video of him making the same exact joke, right, to another guy, right? Almost the same exact joke and almost the same reaction to the joke, right?
I think he was on the Arsenio Hall show and he said, hey, it's a joke. He said, hey, it's a joke, get over it.
Yeah, he was like, oh, come on, this is a joke, right? You know, and I was like, that's just crazy. That video had to have been at least 20, 30 years ago. Well,
yeah, I mean, it's Arsenio Hall, right? It's like 30 years ago.
30 years ago, easy. Damn, we're getting old. So it was like shit. I said 20 years ago, but 20 years ago was 2002. So
exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's crazy. Like comedians live in this weird bubble, right? Because
this is what I wanted to talk about too.
Yeah, they do live in this bubble because I do think there are such things as, you know, limits, right? I don't think Chris Rock crossed the limit, like by any means, right? He did not cross the limit, right? It does beg the question though, like let's say if like Jada Pinkett Smith was suffering from cancer, right? Does that make that, you know, limit? Or what if he makes a joke about like her weight, right? You know, or something like that, or like some bodily function, like what are those limits, right? He made fun about her hair, which is another kind of a trait about a woman. So, I mean, I don't definitely have those answers for that, but like, we talked about this with Dave Chappelle, right?
Yeah.
With like a couple weeks ago, he was making jokes, and it's like, oh, it's a joke. It wasn't that bad, right? So, comedians kind of live in this like weird realm where they can kind of make these jokes, but they can kind of tell the truth, and people are like, oh man, he's speaking facts right now, and they like make a joke, right? So for example, I'll leave you on this. Like one of my favorite Dave Chappelle like stand-ups was his SNL monologue, right? The day like Joe Biden won the election. I think I've watched it like a dozen times, right? It was just great. And he came on and he was like he was talking about the divided country, and like he was saying things like, you know, I don't want anyone to hate each other. Like, think about how bad these guys feel. Like we felt the same way 4 years ago, right? Whatever, right? And then he also made the joke about like, you know, the woman that was kind of supporting like the doctor that was kind of like somewhat agreeing, not really, with like Donald Trump saying like he was trying to guess the cure of the coronavirus. Like we should like try to like drink this or do this, whatever. And she was kind of nodding her head a little bit. And he was like, yeah, that's why women make half or 77%. And people were like, oh, and they're like, and he was like, I'm sorry, I thought we were at a comedy show. But it's kind of like he was dropping some truth bombs that like wasn't jokes and then like was. So it's kind of this weirdness like with comedians, right? So
I agree. Yeah. I think that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. It's like, because I feel like just like you said, like comedians are in this weird space now where it's just like everybody's really looking at what you say and commenting on it and trying to cancel you. Because, you know, we're in that middle of the cancel culture, you know, deal. Yeah. So, you know, they're acting like you're supposed to tippy toe around like everything.
Yeah.
But, you know, a comedian's job is to look at serious situations and find a way to make light of it.
Yeah.
And make you laugh about it, right? So I don't agree with putting those limitations on comedians. Like I think that you need to know, as a comedian, you still need to have an understanding of your audience and
the times a little bit. Like
and the times, right? Because if somebody like Eddie Murphy was to come out and do a something like Delirious now, right? He'd be cast out. You know what I'm saying? Because he's talking about things in there that's simply not acceptable to talk about today. Yeah. So you have to have some awareness, but at the same time, like as a comedian, I think that you it's your right to be able to look at these situations and make light of it and to understand how to do that. I mean, that's your job. You have to know how to do it. But as somebody who's listening to that comedy, if I go to a comedy show and, I'm bald or I'm fat or I'm wearing something, a whack outfit or something like that, I can expect to draw his attention and be made fun of.
I purposely sit in the back or like away at comedy shows just for that. Like,
I mean, but you never even know. Like, yeah. So I mean, D.L. Hughley, I've watched a lot of his stuff. I've been to D.L. Hughley's show. This dude, a good amount of his materials is going through the audience, just like, skewering people, you know what I mean? And it's funny. Yeah. But you just got to be ready for it. Like, you just hope it's not you. You know what I'm saying?
Do that.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle does that. Andrew Schultz does that, right?
Yeah.
A lot of comedians do that. I will say this. So to your point too, like in Dave Chappelle's comedy special, he says like comedians reserve the right to speak recklessly. Right? That's kind of part of their shtick, right? I will push back a little bit and say though, like there are limits, right? There are limits.
Yeah.
And what those limits are, that's the gray line. That depends on like day to day on who makes a fuss about it and how loud they are, right?
Yeah. But I think that's what makes a great comedian. You have to know how to do it, right? You have to be able to talk about something in such a way that it hits a nerve, but not the nerve that's going to make somebody haul up and slap you, right? You gotta know.
It depends on who it is, right? So for example, we talked about like, the transgender, we had this on the show, right? And for some other people, like it hit such a nerve where they wanted to reprimand him, right? Part like the comedy show, like, well, I went to this showing for his Untitled documentary. Like part of the reason that it's an Untitled documentary because no one picked it up, right? So he kind of did the documentary on the show, and like we spent money to like just watch the documentary and see him perform. But like at the same time, like a comedian like probably wouldn't make a joke about like Ukraine situation, right? And people like dying at war, right? So there are limits, but what those limits are, like nobody really knows, right?
I'm saying you could make. I'm saying a comedian. It depends on what he says about the Ukrainian situation. You can't just be like, "Ha ha, everybody's dying," but you can say something, what I mean, about the president.
Someone saying that though is speaking recklessly, right? So ha ha, everyone's dying, right? It's a bad joke, right? But it's a horrible joke. But do we cancel the guy for saying this or not or whatever, right?
But I feel like they could talk because the president did a couple of things. I was like, wow, like that guy's really like stepping out. Like I feel like you could have, as a comedian, you could have said something about some of those things that he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, you should have seen SNL. SNL was going like Weekend Update. I love SNL. They were going off on
I'm sure
the situation. Like I mean, the comedians obviously had Chris Watts back, like for sure. Right, for absolute sure, like because it's part of their profession, right? And let's be honest, like Chris Rock, you're up there, you're defenseless. Like you're up there and you're defenseless. Like you don't know who's gonna come in from what angle, wherever, from where they come from, right? So it's a tough thing, right? I don't think it's as cut as dry as like comedians can say whatever the hell they want, but because I don't think that's true. I think you are accountable for what you're saying. I think it goes into like how serious you want to take the comedian, right? Do you want to take them seriously, all seriously, no seriously, right? Like Chappelle thing, like he drops some like real truth bombs, and a lot of his shows he drops some real truth bombs. It's like, damn, this guy does it. And he'll make a joke and be like, whoa, shit, it messes with you. It really does.
You're like, I can't believe you just said that, but I'm laughing.
It is what it is. But I mean, still kind of shocked to process. So my mentor Jose, I didn't have like a slap in the moment thing, but I definitely was understood like during this week. And like someone on like the team like took it the wrong way. And I was talking to Jose about it, my mentor and fan of the show, and he actually referenced the Will Smith situation, right? Because like being, well, I mean, like us being the only few Black people in technology, right? We have to be smarter, right? So we can't be as
Yeah.
aggressive. We can't always say what we want to say, what we think. Sometimes, right? I'm in the midst of kind of switching like roles at my job now, so I'm being a little bit more kind of blunt.
Managerial, right?
Well, more, yeah. Well, I'm being more blunt in my current role because I think there are some changes that needs to be made. However, like there needs to be a strategy involved, right? Because my goal is to invoke change, not to piss people off. But that's another story. But yeah, just as Black people, we can't just do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I will also say this, like, so Will Smith did quit the Academy. People that's also quit the Academy, well, they were all like, if he didn't quit the Academy, he probably would have been kicked out of the Academy.
They were about to suspend him. I think yeah.
Yeah, I think they would have kicked him out. People that's also been kicked out: Harvey Weinstein,
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby, Roland Polanski, all rapists. So,
Not
yeah.
that company.
Yeah, Roland Polanski is actually still. I mean, I don't know if he's. Let me check to see if he's still with us. It's been a while since I've heard about him, but like he was on the run. Like he hasn't been to the United States for like years, and I think when he accepted his Oscar award, he's still alive. Yeah. So when he accepted his Oscar award, he accepted like he wasn't in person because like he's wanted here for like rape. So yeah, it's a very telling stuff there.
Oh, and by the way, they're about to go back on this red table talk and talk about what happened, right?
Of course they are.
This is the type of shit I'm talking about, dog. You're gonna make yourself look like a freaking clown again, doing this shit, man.
We'll see how this goes, right?
This is the type of shit I'm talking about. And then you had fucking Jada Pinkett Smith talking about after the thing. It's a season for healing. Man, shut your ass.
What?
On her Instagram, she said it's a season for healing.
A season for that cryptic message, yeah.
Hey, bro, shut your ass up, man. Shut your ass up. Shut the fuck up. This is why y'all are giving people so much material. You need to just be silent.
Yeah.
You did something stupid. Have a seat.
That's true.
And hope it goes away.
That's true.
Right?
Just sit there, kind of take your humble pie for a little bit, and just kind of
apologize and be humble for a second. No, now we're going to fucking red table talk and talk about it. And what are you going to say exactly? Yeah, I started laughing, but you looked at me and I said, well, I better go handle the situation because I had to stand up for my woman. It's going to be some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's
it's going to be some shit that's very similar to what he said with for his acceptance speech, right? Where it's like, love does makes you do crazy things, right? So,
oh man,
yeah, it's
pride makes you do crazy things.
Well,
I think that
so the joke in SNL, right? Michael Shea like quoted this. He goes, "Oh yeah, love." Like Will Smith says, "Love makes you do crazy things." You know what else makes you do crazy things? Crazy. Crazy makes you do crazy things.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Yes.
So
I mean, look, there are definitely situations where I would fight somebody for my wife, right? Like they put their hands on her,
yeah,
or they're like, seriously like messing with her. But this words stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's smart enough to snap back at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She is.
So I don't have to. That's it. It just brings up a whole lot of questions. Because they had stuff on Instagram I see where women asking their man, what would you do in that situation, or stuff like that. It's just like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Yeah. There's ways to handle it. There's ways to handle it and still be a man. Don't tell me I'm not a man because I didn't get violent with somebody. We got to do better with how we look at masculinity, man. That's really like a big thing to me, especially, I don't know if I told y'all, but my third kid is going to be a boy. So especially with a young man coming in to the world, man, it's something I feel like I'm going to have to teach him about masculinity like that.
Yeah, just play that tape and be like, do not do that.
Son, this is what you don't do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, man. Well, we talked a shit about this issue.
Yeah, I'm through it, Will. What's funny?
Yeah,
I almost wore because I'm a fan of his stuff. I'm not gonna, what I'm saying. So I had like a little Bel Air. He had like a Bel Air like clothing line or whatever. Yeah. So I had like some of the t-shirts. I almost wore a Bel Air t-shirt today. Like, nah.
You don't like Big Willie style? I actually have the Big Willie album. Getting
I tell you what, man. No matter what, every summer there's one song I have to hear. I have to hear "Summertime" every year. You know what I'm saying? That's his joy.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. I mean, I do hope we do eventually forgive him, right? And he does do the work to be better. I do think he was just humble pie.
He needs to.
Like maybe wait on the Red Table Talk for like a month or so, or 2 or 3.
Bro, that shit will be it will be out in the next couple of weeks. I guarantee you. Yeah, and it's not gonna be long. Gonna be long.
We'll see. We shall see. All right, so man, we talked the hell out of that issue.
Moving on, finally,
right? We used to try to end this at like 10. It's like we got like 3 other topics to get through.
We're still getting started.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk March Madness, man. So where's I watched the Duke UNC game last night. That was a good game.
It was a great game. It was a great game.
Really good game. It was really close. UNC pulled it out at the end. So UNC beat Mike Krzyzewski twice, like in where it counted, right? His last home game, right? And like in the Final Four, knock him out the Final Four, which is crazy. And an announcer also said too, and I don't know how true this is that North Carolina might be Mike Krzyzewski's first and last loss in his career.
Yeah, because they gave him a loss. They gave him his first loss too. Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's a
UNC
rivalry. I was kind of going a little bit for Duke too. I mean,
nope.
Niggas like hard pass. Hard pass on that.
I was going for UNC. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was definitely happy that UNC won. I think I told you about Bomani Jones. You definitely watch Bomani Jones. Like his first, like he would have liked his 3rd episode because it talks about like his HBCUs, right? And he's a product of an HBCU. Like he went to an HBCU, his parents was an HBCU, and their parents was an HBCU. So, I mean, I won't get into this now, but just take some time to kind of watch that. Bomani Jones is one of my favorite sports, like writers.
Yeah.
Really love during like the George Floyd situation. I was feeling all some kind of way. Like, definitely listening to him and hearing his standpoints. Like, it's just great, right? He's a very intelligent guy, even though if he's a Atlanta Falcons fan, he won't believe it. But I won't admit it. But yeah, no. Back to this. So I also watched some women's games too, right? So I watched UConn NC State. That went to double overtime, right? So Paige Becker was last year's like woman of the year. She's good. I watched Louisville and South Carolina there. So right now, UConn and South Carolina is playing right now, right?
UConn is all for the women, man. UConn is just always there, man. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they haven't been there the last couple of years, but they also showed that he is like Gino Ariana is like 11-0 in national championship games, and he's won so many of them, right?
Mm.
They're
Mm.
going against a really good team in South Carolina. Like I said, I watched that South Carolina Louisville game. One of them on the Louisville side, there's a woman called Haley Van Lith, who came from that Mamba Academy. So she like knew Kobe Bryant and Gigi, like Kobe Bryant's daughter, who passed away in the helicopter crash. So there's that connection. But there's another woman, the National Player of the Year, right? Her name, she's from the islands. She's from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Her name is Aaliyah Boston. Cheat code. Let me tell you, 6'5", like crashes the boards and can shoot threes. Like, yeah. So it's gonna be UConn's gonna have it in for them. I don't know the score, but like when we're done here, we'll kind of check it out. I think your bracket is it officially busted? Is it gone?
My bracket's dead. Yeah.
Who'd you have in the championship?
And Houston and I forget the other one, man. Houston made it pretty far. I thought I was on to something with Houston, right? Because they,
who they lose to? They lose to Duke or they lose to Kansas, or I think they lost to Blue Blood for sure.
I want to say Kansas. I don't know. No clue. I tend to look past any losses I take.
Yeah. So it's gonna be Kansas versus North
UNC.
Carolina. Yeah, so that should be a good game too. Right?
Who you got?
I saw the North Carolina game. It's hard to kind of root against them, but Kansas is so good. I haven't seen Kansas play this year too, but I've seen they've been really good this year.
Yeah, I think Kansas about to work UNC, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Kansas about to work them.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see that one coming up. So yeah, we should see how that goes. Yeah, but that Duke UNC game, that's a classic. That's definitely an instant classic right there. It's such a good game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's hit our next topic. Moon Knight. Did you catch the episode?
I did. I actually had to watch it twice. I watched it twice.
Okay. I wish I watched it twice because I think I started watching it after I watched Young Justice, and I don't think I was mentally ready to accept it.
You weren't there?
Yeah, I just wasn't there. So I wish I watched it the second time, and I may watch it the second time during the week. I did watch some reviews afterwards. I didn't take any notes on it, but yeah, I mean he's one of the reviews they were kind of making a joke about it on how he's a Spider. I mean not a Spider-Man, but a Batman. A Batman.
Well, you kind of see it.
Yeah, you see it there, right? You see it there. They actually in the comics, because he's different in the comics than in the show. Because in the comics, his alter ego, so his Steven, the stupid one or the non-confident one, he's actually in the comics a billionaire and has a cave and all that stuff, just like Bruce Wayne. So they kind of switched it up a little bit on us to make him a curator, or not even a curator, just a guy that works at the
museum. Yeah.
A vegan that works at the museum, right? So,
a giftologist, he called himself.
Yeah, a giftologist, yeah.
Yeah, so, gift shop. He said he's a giftologist.
It's him and Mark Spector.
Right? Yeah, Mark Spector is the one I was more familiar with.
Yeah, so that's his alter ego. There. Oscar Roberts is not Oscar Roberts. Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac.
You're struggling right now, dog. You all right?
Oh my god. It's good. It's glitching today. Just glitching. No, Oscar Isaac, I think does a good job. When he was playing the bumbling idiot, I was like, okay, this is a little annoying, but it did keep me engaged throughout the show to kind of figure things out, right? And kind of when he woke up in Finland or wherever, the god, the god that I forgot his name, it's not Amit, but one of the gods that the guy that was following him around on the white stuff. I wish I brought my notes because I would have had all this down for you. But Whatever. He was like, "Oh my god, the stupid one is, is in power."
I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
Oh, the
pretty
stupid
funny.
one's in charge. The
Yeah.
idiot's in
So
charge.
yeah, so it's pretty interesting. They did a lot of good, like a lot of, and I wish I'd appreciated more when I watched it. But there was a lot of visual work that they did there. Some of the CGI is really, really solid. So
I didn't feel that way. I thought the CGI was a little questionable. Yeah,
really, I
yeah.
thought because in the reviews I watched, they did a really good job with like some of um like the angles of like how he was like looking at a mirror and talking back, and like there's one angle where he was walking away and it showed the reflection like in the water, but it was actually inverted, which like I didn't catch like when I like watched the show. So I was like, man, it's actually
Well,
so
that stuff is where I think they did a good job. But like with the Moon Knight coming out and the monsters like randomly showing up in the background,
yeah,
I felt like some of that was a little questionable at times.
yeah.
Or like there was some moments in the car chase where um you saw him driving the car, but then it would kind of break into like a CGI portion of a chase,
Yeah.
and the animation was like a little
I'll give you that.
skittish,
Yeah, some
right?
of like the logs that fell down like was purely like wasn't like done very well. Like
Yeah, like
yeah.
stuff like that. You know what I mean? I was like, what happened to y'all budget?
I do remember looking like when the logs fell down. I was like, that's not that great.
Like, yeah, like with all they did with Scarlet Witch and all those other shows, I kind of expected better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I thought the show wasn't too shabby. I'm interested to see kind of what's next, right? I
Yeah,
don't know a lot about Moon Knight like at all. Like I don't know him
me
from
neither.
comics, right? So this is gonna be like a brand spanking new thing for us. They say that it's gonna push the limits of like Disney Plus. One thing I thought was interesting with Disney Plus was when I logged in onto it to watch this, they said, okay, this profile that you're using, do you want to turn on
Yep.
like mature content? Like, what is this they're getting into now? I'm like, okay.
Well, that's because they have the Netflix series over there now, right? So that's for
That's
mature
true.
audiences.
You're right.
So
I
ever
did see
since
that.
ever since they brought those in, they give people that warning because I got it too.
Yeah,
Not too long ago.
that's
Yeah.
right. Which is a great series actually. Well, everything except for like Iron
Iron
Fist.
Fist. Oh my god.
But
I don't even. Yeah.
which is interesting because Disney Plus they have another service called Stars, which is not in the U.S. but in other countries. You need to jump on a VPN like to get it, but it shows like the more adult content, right? Which I think is pretty solid. I was actually hoping to see Logan, the last Wolverine movie, which I thought was a great movie, and I wish I could like see it again. And it's not anywhere like on the streaming services, at least that I can get to. So,
do they have any of the old X-Men movies on Disney?
they do. So
okay.
I think they have pretty much all of them except for Logan and Deadpool.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
okay.
all of the stuff from Logan and Deadpool are the ones that I saw, and those were actually pretty violent. So
Yeah.
no, we'll see. We'll talk more about Moon Knight the next episode when it comes out. So
yeah.
solid. Did you get a chance to see Young Justice?
I didn't. I didn't. So I want to know. Yeah, no, I want to know like what you were talking about though, because I'm really.
And I misspoke too. When I saw my messages, like I misspoke about like, Justice League or some shit like that. Like that's just wrong. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's still fairly early in the season, so I don't think I can spoil it for you. So it picks up like kind of where it leaves off a little bit with like Connor Kent dying, right?
Right.
I never thought that he's died. Like honestly, like never thought that he died. I won't talk about that, but
no, I mean I watched all the way up until there. I've only missed like this new episode.
Yeah, well, it gets referenced in the new episodes, so
okay.
I won't get too into the details about that. But one of the things I want to talk to you about now, when it comes to wokeness, I think I'm pretty woke. I think so. I try to be. Oh, screw you. Like I said, I try to be very open and whatnot. But I think they took it a little bit far with the first couple episodes. And there's a kind of a point where it's like, are you doing like right by these marginalized groups, or are you just kind of, as you said, adequately like just checking a box, right? So we got to add this, we got to add this, and we got to add this, right? Um, so one of the things, and I guess it's I guess a little bit of a spoiler, but it's still at the beginning, right? So Garth, right? So Garth is no, Lagan. His name is Lagan. So Lagan's like Atlantean, like the green guy, like fish dude, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He, like, when McGinn like and Connor broke up temporarily, right? He and McGinn were together for a little bit, and he was kind of being like an alpha douchebag about it, right? Like, oh, I love you, whatever. This is right. What's up, sweet cakes? Kind of just being a douche, like an alpha douchebag, right? So anyway, what they did is like, by the way, they also introduced like 14 different like Atlantean like characters. Like the next half of this season is gonna take place in Atlantis, like for sure, right? Like there are already there's kind of a lot going on. I'm not spoiling it for you. Aaron, right, comes back, right? He's like, he was Vandal Savage's son, also immortal. They talked about it in the earlier in the season when Atlantis sunk, right? So he's back. But the thing that I was kind of like texting you about was that, so I'm talking about like Lagan here, right? So it shows like Lagan, like, you know, kind of playing, right? And like this woman comes along and is like, she's pregnant. And she's like, yeah, you're going to be a great father. And he's like, yeah, you know, that's, I can't wait or whatever, right? Then they got to go to like this conference gets like attacked, right? And then this guy gets like knocked out, like that's not Lagan. And this she goes, like, they're trying to hold her back, and it goes, but that's my husband, I need to go to her. Again, not Lagan. And I was like, wait, what? Like, this is interesting. Did you step out on him? Like, did you pregnant with someone else, like a kid? And then like she goes out there and gets like knocked out, and then Lagan comes and they're trying to hold him back, and he goes, wait, that's my husband and my wife out there, I gotta go help them. And I was like, wait, what?
I'm already confused.
I literally, when I saw that, I had to pause, right? And I had to rewind just to replay. It's like, did I hear that correctly? Right? Like, and later in like the series, like they show that he's in a throuple. So he's in a polygamous relationship, two guys, one female, right? And she's pregnant with, I guess, his kid or whatever, right?
It's a little much. Yeah, it's a little much.
It comes up. Oh, that's just the beginning, right? They also talked about Halo, right? So as you know, Halo, last season, right? It was a Muslim girl. Oh, by the way, Ramadan Kareem to all my Muslims who are fasting. I fasted today. It wasn't terrible. We'll see how it goes later. But so they talked about Halo, right? And she talked about how she felt like comfortable with her hijab, right? But she wasn't like the character that's passed away, right? Because the woman who her body took, right, is dead, right? So what she did is that she then goes to like the family in which like that's her, like the woman's body who she's possessed, right? That's their kid, right? And she talks to her about like Islam and like questioning of like, is Islam like a question for me or whatever. And this is kind of like this again, first couple of episodes are kind of dropping bombs like this, right? Like, well, they didn't even kind of test the trouble with like Lagan. They just like, that's the thing, you got to accept that. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. But this one, which I thought was interesting, in the sense that she was kind of asking like the reasoning for her job and what does Islam mean for her and X, Y, and Z, and like kind of like a religious focus, which they did in like an earlier episode of this where like uh uh Dr. Fate's like not Dr. Fate, but the person who he's possessing, I forgot his name. Totaro, where it talks about his faith, right? Um so yeah, this happens where like she wants to talk about her faith and like is wondering if Islam's right for her. But I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And then in the end credit scene, she was like, okay, yeah, I'm still trying. I have more questions about like religion and Islam. And she goes, well, I think it's time to decide what my pronouns are because I don't think I'm a she and I don't think I'm a he. And I was like,
wow, this is heavy.
yeah,
Jeez.
like, you guys are doing a lot right now. Y'all are doing a lot right now, and that's not even the half of it. Like again, you have Beast Boy with his depression issues that's happening. It shows
I kind of like that storyline, but I feel like it's dragging a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
it wrap that up.
It continues, right? And it continues with the new Aquaman. What's his name? Calderon, right? He talks about his depression issues as well, right? Where he's trying to just shake it off, and like there's so much to unpack, right there, and they're kind of just throwing these things in here, like these like self-conscious things, and part of me kind of likes to see that representation, but at the other times, other part of me is like, you guys are literally just checking boxes right now. This is as bad as Donald Trump saying that I have a good relationship with the blacks, which he actually said. Right? He's actually said this, right? So it's like
he probably felt that way. He got featured in a couple rap videos.
I have a great rap video, right? I mean, it also made me think about other shows which has shown like kind of polygamous or LGBT plus like characters, and it shows how like in those shows they kind of do the due diligence. They showed over time. Like so, for example, Korra. So the Airbender, right? Like she eventually gets into like a homosexual relationship with like another woman, and that was built over 4 seasons. Right. Like it didn't just happen, right? One of my favorites anime, like it's on Netflix, Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, right? So one of the characters has like it's not a trouble, but he has like I forgot what they call it, but he's on a ship full of women that he considers their wives, right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And like when you tell people that, people were just like, okay. You're like, wait, what?
Like it was perfectly normal, right?
So they were like, that's fine. Like, no, they're like, wait, what? They were like, wait, what? They're all your wives? Yeah, I forgot exactly what they like what it was called, like this like group or whatever. But like, yeah. And that also became a story point throughout the season and throughout the series, right? For 2 seasons, right? That kind of came back and forth. So, I mean, that kind of was a point, right? That is one guy who has like all these like women as wives, and like some people felt some type of way about it, and other people were okay with it, right? And it was constantly explained. So, like you can tell, like they're kind of forcing the issue on this one, right? And
yeah,
I kind of wish like they didn't do that, but
yeah.
Go ahead and
that's what kind of bothers me about some of the TV these days, man. It's like, it's good to have like that material there, but don't just like force feed it.
Yeah.
And make sure that you write the script in such a way that we talk about it. Yeah. It needs to be a little more natural, and I like to point to the like the DC TV shows that were on the CW, right? Yeah. We had a scene with Clark Kent and Lois Lane, and I think this is like the first time that you saw her character really like being introduced, because after that they came out with the Lois and Clark TV show, and she comes on there and they're talking about her being a Pulitzer Prize winning reporter, and she's like, yeah, and then her next comment is like, but I still make 65 cents for every dollar that you do. And it's just like, who gives a shit? Like,
yeah, I mean,
that has nothing to do with what's going on, right?
Because I bet she made that comment and was never brought up again.
No, yeah, no.
Right? So it's
Clark
like
Kent. This is
like
what
you're
Clark
just
Kent
kind of
did. This
just
is
kind
what
of just
Clark Kent did. They're standing together, right? He said, and puts his arm around her. That's it. That was it. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, I
No,
love
no,
you too.
absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, it's again, I'm for definitely like I'm not a traditionalist by any means, right? And it is good that you're kind of trying to show these like non-traditionalist like type relationships, right? But again, these are literally coming out of nowhere. Like so when like we didn't realize that Calderon was bisexual, right? Not saying there's something wrong with that, but like
yeah,
that it literally did look like someone you guys like decided like last second. Right?
yeah,
Right?
because it was like that tripped me out because he was kind of in a relationship with one of the women on the
Oh,
show.
Tula. So he was in love with Tula, right?
Yeah,
Who professed her love with her best friend Garth, right?
right.
Um, and it also suggested like at the end, because I remember like because I loved like season one of like Young Justice and I watched it so many times. It kind of suggested a little bit that Rocket and Calderon would be a thing because she's like, I love this team all the way. And she like kissed someone like on like the cheek or whatever. So I was thinking maybe that could be a thing.
Fast
But
forward a couple seasons, this dude is like with his boyfriend, husband, whatever, whatever you want to call it. It's like,
yeah.
when?
It's like you guys just literally just kind of threw that like last like,
No development. It's like,
no,
bro, like, if you're gonna put the whatever you have in your show, I'm not even gonna say if you're gonna put this in there because I don't want to sound like that. But whatever you have in your show, like it needs to grow like organically. You can't just throw some material in there just because, hey, it's 2022 and we need to have this material here. It needs to progress. I need to see some progression, a reason, a story arc, something like grow to it.
I mean, so for example, too, like so the Halo situation, her deciding her gender pronouns because she says that she's non-binary, right? Which makes sense, right? Logically makes sense, right? Gender roles are human. You can argue is kind of a earthly thing, right? And she being from space may not have those like same roles, so it makes sense, right? But I would imagine that her coming to that decision would take some time for her to do, right? You're not gonna just drop it because it literally is like the end credit scene, like at the end of all the Young Justice, there's like an end credit scene where like they talk, right? And she's like, oh, I think it's time for me to decide. Well, I'm not this, I'm not this, so I guess I'm non-binary. So just call me they. And I was like,
jeez.
Like you literally, I'm sure it takes a little bit more time for them to decide to understand this, right?
See, we've only got 30 minutes. Calm down. We've only got 30 minutes of TV show here.
Oh yeah, you have episodes. maybe not have a storyline for every freaking single person and focus on a couple and build up storylines, right? That's the problem. And mind you, like they have like 30 billion storylines. Like, like you have, and I'm not even telling you all of them, right? But there's the Halo with kind of her. They kind of spent some time on that. Atlantis, that's gonna be a clusterfuck of a decision right there. You have Taro, that just watch that episode. That's gonna be a clusterfuck. You have like Zataro, Dr. Faith, and his little thing. You have the depressions happening. There's so much happening, right? Like,
yeah.
So you're doing a lot. I can't keep up with everything. So yeah.
I'll have to try to.
That's my unofficial review. So go ahead and watch Young Justice. I'm surprised I watched it before you.
Me too. I didn't even realize. I was getting excited because there was a new season of Ozark out.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I gotta go watch that. Yeah, and since we're talking TV, I just finished binge watching Silicon Valley.
Ah.
Man, I forgot how good that show was. I was on it like the first season. I kind of, you fall off or whatever. It was an amazing show.
Yeah, my coworker actually talked to me about Silicon Valley, and I may actually watch that, like try to pick that up. Like, there's a lot of shows that I need to movies that just haven't, like, you think me working from home and being at home, I'd have caught up on all the shit, and I just haven't. So, yeah, there's a lot that I need to kind of catch up on. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to do that. Yeah, so no, Young Justice is out. I wanted to kind of go with you about like Gran Turismo because we've been playing in
I feel like you and his Hasib have like some cheat code or something, man.
Oh, Hasib has a cheat code, if anything. Like,
that was like his times. I play the event and then I see Hasib is like 5 seconds ahead of me. I'm like, bro, what are you even driving?
Yeah.
Like,
one of the things, like,
good grief.
One of the things, it was so funny. So what this happened today too, like I was looking at some of like the music rally stuff and I saw that your score is better than mine. So I just to be a dick about it. Just to
be like, jerk, man.
Fuck that. I mean, it's not fair, right? You're like, you're a husband, 2 kids, 1 on the way. I have way more time than you to kind
of.
So.
Can I get 1 win, please?
Yeah. No, I mean, I was actually like the Gran Turismo. It shows you like everything too. Like it shows you how much time you've like spent racing and all that stuff. That I was looking at your time and my time, and I think you were at 3 hours. I was at 7 hours. Hasibas have been at 12 hours. Like,
so wait a minute. Let's put this into perspective real quick, okay? Because for the people who've been watching, I've been playing Gran Turismo for at least 2 weeks before Sahid did. Right? Let's think about that. I started playing Gran Turismo in about 2 weeks before Sahid even thought about it. He has now played more than me. Must be nice. Must be nice.
Yeah, there's been some weekends where I was kind of like, let's get this going. Like, because I reached kind of towards the end of like my Horizon Zero Dawn journey. Like I didn't get the like platinum. I'll probably get that in like a year or so. Because I don't feel like doing some of like the hunting trials, and like there's a new game called Strike and like Horizon Forbidden West, and I was like, I didn't play that one game. I don't feel like playing it. Like,
that's fair. That's fair.
But I need to play it to like get the platinum, and I don't like. Again, I just beat it like a couple weeks ago. Horizon Zero Dawn I played for like 4 years. Like I'll probably play this for like a couple years, and I'll eventually get the platinum when it happens. But I started getting into Gran Turismo, and it really just brought me back some memories, right? Because I haven't played Gran Turismo 6, which is on the PS3, not PS4, PS3, right? Like, so it's been a while. Like it's been like I skipped a generation, right? So
pretty much.
Yeah, I would say you said you didn't like the music. I like the music a little bit. It's not bad. I wish there was more diversity in some of the music. I wish there was more choice, like in what you can do with the music, because I'm pretty sure in the old Gran Turismos, you can switch between like your menu music and your race music, or like kind of mix and match between the two. You can't do that in this game, because there's some like menu music that I actually wish was in like the race like music and whatnot. So I wish there were more options there. But like even like when I was like buying the cars, like someone like the down to like Edo would love this. Edo, our boy, like who's into like those type of like jazzy down tempo, like he would love that kind of stuff, right? So I definitely felt myself like bobbing my head a little bit, like, man, this is just dope. Or some of the jazz tunes, I'm like, man, this is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Room song, and it's one of the you don't even remember. It's the first. It's the second music rally song, right?
Okay.
So the guy goes vroom 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 vroom. It's actually pretty cool. I liked it.
Did you like the Idris Elba one?
I haven't seen. I mean, I guess I wasn't paying attention to it, so I need to actually go check it out and see it. Like,
I actually liked it. I was like, I might have to try to download this track. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, the music's okay. And, like the graphics are amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy about a new TV for this. Like 4K. This was meant to be in 4K. And they did such a good job. Like they don't like care like even some of like the graphics on like the road, like some of the dirt on the road you see like very clearly, or like the definition of some of the trees, and even some of like the people, right?
Yeah.
Or I mean, it's not super lifelike because it's like like they don't pay attention to those graphics. But like I was running like a race, a trial run, and you see like you even see like some of like the track employees they like turning around, right? And like
Yeah. Yeah.
like and that's like
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like it's
Yeah, man.
it's a great game. So
It's a shame that people are review bombing it over the whole like microtransaction fiasco and some of the other stuff that they were trying to add to the game.
yeah,
And people kind of balked at. Because this is a good game to me. Like, I don't see
yeah,
how
it
you'd be
is a
like,
good
oh, it's a
game.
shitty game.
No, it's a good game.
You
There are
know.
definitely some places to improve, right?
Oh yeah,
Um,
always, always.
definitely a lot of places to improve. Like one of the things that I not a big fan of is that it's you're kind of going through the cafe, and that's how you're unlocking some of the game, right? While I think in other games, like mostly everything is open and you can kind of choose where you get to go.
So I read that they're adding that component to the game.
Of what? Of making everything open or the cafe?
I don't know if everything's going to be open, but they're going to something. There's going to be something to be said for riding around the map or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just want to just like listen to sometimes kind of just want to listen to music and just kind of like some of the like down tempo music is great like at night on a night track, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
I would also say too that it's crazy because there was a case where like I'm in this race and the sun was in my eye, like I was kind of like
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
yeah like it's like, and this happened in like other games but not to this the definition, like this happened
Yeah,
in like
man.
6 but not like this. I was like yikes, like
They
or
did a
there are
really
times
good
where it got
job.
yeah, or the time where it got like really really dark like during a race and it would just go you'll start like evening and it'll just get dark as fuck, like pitch black, like you gotta like really pay attention like to where you're going because you'll run into something. Let me ask you this, like do you get like the clean driver like bonuses sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I usually try to shoot for those.
I'm not a
um
dirty racer, man.
yeah,
I'm not dirty.
well, it's not even about being dirty, but sometimes one thing I've realized too is like if you fuck, because I've messed up a couple of times too, and if you like swerve like too far like out off the track, they'll take away your clean driver race.
Yeah.
If like say if you bump into a car too hard, right? Like you can kind of love tap them, but so gently. You can't bump into them. Like it's
Yeah.
a like that'll be a non-clean race. Like what how I've noticed is that if you hit something hard enough where you see a part fly, right?
I've done that.
Yeah, I've seen that
On the
happen.
wall though, not another car, on just the wall.
I that's happened once where I was trying to stop because these damn cars get in your way, and and I hit the back of them, and I saw like a part fly. I'm like, shit, did I just lose my clean bonus? Oh, I
Found the
did.
secret.
Yeah. So like if a part flies away, like you're not getting like your clean driver bonus. There is a little bit of damage, not a lot. Like I had to like when I scraped the wall like enough, like if you I was looking at the front of my car and it shows like paint being scraped from the car, which I thought was actually pretty cool.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a good game. Definitely has some places to improve.
Yeah.
Um
Y'all the review bombing. Y'all can stop that, man. Y'all can miss me with that. It's a
yeah,
good game.
yeah, it's a good game. It's definitely a good game. Wish they did a little bit more with just some of the music and other things, but yeah. Um yeah. Our boy Hissop though, this guy crazy. Something else to do, Nicholas, I'm not sure if you do this, but you have to like turn off a lot of the assist, like auto assist stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's how you get like those faster times. Like I was trying to get a gold medal in like one of the other ones, like the international, nothing like the beginner A one, the second license, and the last two actually. worked hard as fuck. And I don't know, do you listen to the people talk like at all or read what they say?
I read what they say, but there hasn't really been anything
Yeah,
great
like
so far.
I did catch one thing to say, like, if you want gold, you have to turn off this like setting. And I was like, wait, what? Like,
Guy got the cheat code. Oh,
yeah, it's like, yeah, you gotta turn it off like this. And like for the other one, I had to like turn down like auto traction because one of the things I do for these licenses is I try to race the demo car, like the demo ghost, which is a gold medal. And if you can get close to it, you'll get a gold medal.
yep.
And I'm wondering like how like off like this hairpin turn, like freaking this thing like just zoom, like just freaking like accelerates off, and you're driving the same car. I'm like, well, how the F is he doing that? And I'm like, oh well, fucking turning off traction control, like, or lowering it, like, does that. So I'm like, oh, freaking hell.
Oh man,
thanks.
yeah.
Yeah. But heads up, he plays on like hard mode and like turns off like all the auto assist. Like I still use like some of the auto assist. So like the braking like warnings and stuff, like I still have that shit. And the lines, like I still do that. Sorry.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not big into that. Well, okay. We usually end at like 10, but you know, we had a lot to do with with the wells.
10:30. 10:30. It's all good though.
10:30.
It's all good.
Yeah,
We
it's
had a
all
lot
good.
to talk about tonight.
I was happy we were able to get through it, you know, everything. So yeah, next week, same time next week, I think. I gotta make sure I get my taxes done.
Yeah, me
I
too.
haven't done my taxes yet. So yeah, and my mom called me and was like, yeah, I taught her how to use like your TurboTax, and she's been using that forever now. So yeah, so see.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and keeping up with us. We had a couple of streamers, a couple of watchers. I haven't been.
Oh, good.
So we had a
Yeah.
couple,
And for those of you who don't watch on YouTube or Facebook all the time, I am in the process of editing and uploading the video for not the video, but the MP3s for the last last 6 episodes that I didn't do yet. So.
I had a friend hit me. He's like, "Where are my episodes?"
Oh man, yeah. Hit him up. Let him know. Let him know where we're coming.
What did he say? Like I think the last episode he heard about was like the Joe Rogan episode that we did, voting history and Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Was the last one. So come on, get on
it. Look,
get on it. Good.
I'm working it tonight.
You have 2 kids with a third one on the way and a job and all that stuff.
House hunting and all that other stuff.
Yes. I need to kind of.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, they're coming. They're coming. Actually, I'm gonna upload. Yeah, I'm gonna upload probably 3 tonight. Yeah, at least 3 tonight. So
it's cool.
They're coming, guys.
Yeah. And I may invest in like a new laptop because I don't feel like buying another laptop, but this is a little annoying. But it's only for this. This is where I have a problem with it. Like only for this. So it's like should I like drop $2,000 on a laptop just for this? We'll see. Whatever. Doing this for free.
And there's only one way we can do it, man. We gotta get more people, more followers, stuff. But
we're getting there. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Catch you next week. See you later. Bye.